Here are the 3 things you need to make sure every video you create looks professional. Number 1, lights. 2, proper camera settings. And number 3, incredible audio quality. In this video, we're going to show you a couple of the most important camera settings, whether you're recording with an iPhone or a mirrorless camera, show you the lighting setup to get you to look great from any angle, and how to get that pristine audio that you're looking for. So lights, camera, audio. Let's talk about lighting. The most important light in your setup is the key light. Right now, I'm actually just recording with my ceiling fan light from above. As you can see, it does not look great. If I turn that off and turn on my key light, you can see this is already a lot better. Having a proper key light with a large softbox to diffuse the light makes all the difference to make your videos look professional. You also want to place that key light above you at about a 45-degree angle facing down and at a proper distance. That also helps cut down on the reflection in glasses if you wear glasses, and as you can see, no reflection right now. If you place your key light too far off to the side, almost perpendicular, you're going to get a little Phantom of the Opera look. Have it too far down facing upwards and you're telling a scary story. But if that's the effect you're going for, great. Whoa. If you place the key light too far above you, you start getting those dark circles under your eyes, kind of like a raccoon. So you can play around with the position of your key light, but most often you'll want it about 4 or 5 feet away from you with a big softbox. That helps a lot. We'll put some recommendations for lights in the video description. You can check them out there. Now, if budget allows, you can also add a fill light and a hair light to complete the 3-point lighting setup. As you'll see, if I turn on my fill light, it'll actually even out my face to kind of balance out the key light. So the fill light is placed on the opposite side, also facing me. It's set at a pretty low intensity. You just want it to be able to even out the face in your videos. Finally, I have a hair light actually mounted on the wall above and behind me. When you turn on the hair light, it helps add a little bit of distinction to the hairline or the head, and it separates you from the background. So that's the 3-point lighting setup: key light, fill light, and hair light. But if you can only use one, just invest in a good key light. It will make all the difference. Now, in addition to the key, fill, and hair light, I also have accent lights behind me that can change the color of the background. I can have a blue background, changes the entire look of the video, or if I want something a little more subdued, I can have just a white on the background, but I still have my accent light, which is a Smart Eve flare light. I can control it in HomeKit from my phone and change the color in different scenes. We'll put links to that light in the video description as well. Let's say your 3-point lighting setup is good to go, but your video still doesn't look right. Well, you need to make sure you have the proper settings on your camera or even your mobile device. So I just changed 2 settings on my Sony mirrorless camera, and the video already looks kind of meh. It just does not look as good as it did before. All I changed was the f-stop, how open the aperture is on the camera, and the ISO, which is the light sensitivity of the camera. The higher you have to crank that ISO, the more grainy your video is going to get, as you can see here. So just as a rule of thumb, try to get that f-stop or your aperture number as low as your lens will possibly go, and your ISO number also as low as it can go while still looking good. Let me change those back, and all of a sudden we have a pro-looking video again. The other thing that happens when you lower that f-stop or aperture value is the background or bokeh effect gets blurred. The lower that number is, the shallower the depth of field, meaning when it's focusing on your face, the background will start to get blurred, which is a pleasing look, especially for video content. So get that aperture number as low as it can go, and just raise the ISO enough so you have good lighting, but don't put that ISO number too high, otherwise it'll get real grainy in the video. Now, even if you're shooting from a mobile device, there's still 2 settings you can lock in to make sure your video stays pristine throughout the recording. On an iPhone or Android phone, you can tap and focus on a subject or a certain part of the frame. But if you tap and hold on the screen, your phone will actually lock the exposure and focus. You want to do this because if anything changes in your environment, like a cloud passes through or the lighting changes in the room at all, your phone is going to try and readjust, and your video is going to look very different once it makes that adjustment while you record. So lock in that exposure and focus. This way you'll have a consistent video throughout. Now, when you record with Riverside on our business plans, you can actually control the mobile device cameras from your remote guests inside the Riverside Studio. You can adjust the exposure and color temperature of those mobile devices from anyone recording anywhere in the world right there in the studio. If you'd like to learn more about our camera controls on mobile devices, check out this video above or in the description. Now, the last piece of the puzzle is good audio. You can use the built-in mics on your laptops or mobile devices in a last resort scenario, but you really want to try and have a good external microphone to make sure you sound great. If you're on a computer or laptop, a USB microphone would be ideal. We actually have an entire video going through the best 7 USB microphones you can get. Check that video out above or in the description. But if you want a microphone that's off camera and still sounds great, you can use a lapel microphone. Right now, you're actually hearing the Rode Wireless Go 2. This is a lapel microphone. You can get in a pack of 2, which is great for interviews, and it's going directly into the camera. It has a little built-in clip, which is nice for clothing, and you can even get a magnet that attaches to the clip, and it can look like it's just magically floating on my clothes. There's also some budget-friendly shotgun microphones that can plug into like a mirrorless camera via an 1/8" cable. But if you want the best sounding audio without seeing a microphone in the frame, you're going to want to use a shotgun microphone through an audio interface connect it to your camera, or recording to a computer. This entire video, I've actually been recording into the Sennheiser MKH 416 shotgun microphone. It's an industry standard, super professional microphone. It's going into my Sound Devices MixPre 3 audio interface into my computer, and it just sounds incredible. Now this microphone is $1,000, but you can get shotgun microphones in the $300 to $400 range, like the MKE 600. We'll put links to everything in the video description, and it can still sound really good and still stay off camera. And that's how you want to place a shotgun microphone. Obviously having it in the frame like this is not really appealing, but I can move it just outside the frame and it still sounds incredible. See? Can't see it, but it is right there. I just touched it, but you can't see it. Now when you record your video content with Riverside, right before you enter the studio, you can choose the audio and video devices separately right here in the lobby. This is great because I can choose my MixPre 3 audio interface that's running the shotgun microphone, choose it here in Riverside as my audio input. I can choose headphones or even AirPods as my audio output, although we always recommend using wired headphones when you record remote content. And I can choose my Blackmagic ATEM Mini switcher, which is being used as a webcam here in Riverside. There's actually lots of options for getting the video from a high-quality mirrorless camera or high-end webcam into Riverside to record your video content. If you'd like to learn more about that, check out this video above, and we'll put several links in the description about even using your iPhone for a webcam or how to connect your mirrorless camera to your computer. I'll click that I'm using headphones, and now here I am in the Riverside studio ready to record my high-quality video and audio content. And the great thing about recording with Riverside is you get up to 4K video quality, and you can download uncompressed WAV audio files so you get the highest quality audio for every guest in the recording, and you can download the individual video files as well, and you can even jump into the Riverside editor to export a full-length clip with all of your participants in the call, high-quality video and audio, and export it in 4K right here from Riverside. So those are the 3 things you need to make sure your video looks professional: lights, camera, and audio, and you need Riverside. So you need 4 things. To learn more about using Riverside and our new text-based editor where you can edit your video content just like a Word document, deleting lines in the transcript, searching the transcript for words of interest, and exporting clips, check out the video linked above or in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the Riverside channel. We have lots of content on gear recommendations, video switchers, cameras, USB mics and audio interfaces, and a ton more.